So it's finally time. Around 2 months after the E3 presentation, we are finally getting more info on Smash Bros. Ultimate, in form of a Nintendo Direct on August 8th, which is in 2 days. So they haven't revealed anything yet, so I would just like to share a few of my predictions. So I expect the Direct to go for 20 to 30 minutes, which is kind of the norm Nintendo has been doing on their Directs. Of course, the real length depends on the content they want to show. And then, if you think back to the E3 presentation, they mainly focused on the multiplayer stuff and various game mechanics. They went surprisingly in-depth. So, in this presentation then, I expect they'll kind of steer away from that, and instead they will focus on the various gameplay modes, as well as the single player. So, one of the main complaints about the previous game, Smash 4, has been that the single player was really shallow. So that's why I'm really hoping for a story mode, which kinda goes like the one in Brawl, Subspace Emissary. The reason for that is, I don't play Smash competitively at all, and my friends aren't much into gaming either, so I don't really play the multiplayer in that game at all. Of course, I'm not sure if that will happen after all, if they will implement a story mode, because Sakurai has gone on record complaining about people sharing the cutscenes from the story mode and spoiling them basically, and ruining the game or the fun of the game for everybody else, which is kinda ridiculous in this day and age, but hey, that's Nintendo for you. But although if we go by what we've seen so far from Smash Ultimate, Sakurai seems to be listening to the fans a bit more, going by how all the characters are in, almost all stages are returning, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm thinking Smash Ultimate will have a fleshed out, proper single-player story mode. And besides that, of course, it'll also have Classic, All-Star, like the usual stuff you would expect. And as is tradition, I also expect a new boss that's kinda going with the Ultimate concept. Possibly combining previous bosses into one big boss that you have to fight. Imagine Master Core wielding Master and Crazy Hand as weapons, for example, while fighting on Master Fortress, while you have to avoid Taboo's one-hit kill move. Yeah, that would be a bit crazy, but I expect something along those lines. And then Sakurai also said in the E3 presentation that we can't expect too many new characters, but I still think they're gonna show 1 or possibly 2 new Echo characters, which are the clones, basically, and 1 brand new character. So, as I said earlier, the presentation is on the 8th of August, which is, if you look at the date as a number, the 8th day of the 8th month in 2018. Which leads me to believe that they're gonna present the Octolings as an Echo Fighter to the Inklings. Now, I know what you might think, the Octolings are very recent, Octo Expansion only came out recently, but Octolings already existed before in Splatoon 2, which is around a year old now. I think even a bit older. So, yeah, I think that's gonna happen. And if we go by the numbers of the date again, a character from Octopath Traveler would also be very fitting, but it's mega unlikely, because the game only was released around a month ago, and Nintendo don't usually include characters from games that recently. And on that note, I also don't even know what character they will pick from Octopath, because the game has no real main character. Instead, you play through stories of 8 main characters in total, and they all have different fighting styles. So, picking one would be kinda impossible, and using them as a team, I don't know how that would work either. So, because that's not happening, I think it is finally time for King K. Rool to join Smash. He's been in the discussion for ages, and the Donkey Kong series is quite popular, and there's only 2 characters from that series in the game, Donkey and Diddy. And the game is also in desperate need for more villains, so King K. Rool will be a perfect fit. And I don't think any of the other characters that are floating around the internet are gonna make it, like Crash, no, because you have to remember, Smash is a Japanese-developed game, and Western characters would not make it into the game. Because yeah, it never happened, and I don't think it's gonna happen in this one. Then after characters, I think they will also show 1 or 2 new stages, most likely from Switch games. So I'm thinking of a stage from probably Snipper Clips, which could have a changing environment. And I also think that we'll get a new Yoshi stage, based on the Switch game for Yoshi. Now, I know what you might think, that game hasn't come out yet, but that hasn't stopped them before, because if you remember back to Smash 4 on the Wii U, that one had a Yoshi stage from Woolly World, and Smash 4 came out around half a year before Woolly World, so they could use Smash as an advertising platform yet again. And that's pretty much it for the major stuff that I think is gonna happen. They're also gonna announce some minor things, I think, like some esports stuff, possibly a new tournament. And I think they'll also show us some video editing and uploading options, as well as details on the amiibo. Like, I have a feeling they'll present the Snake amiibo. But that aside, in any case, I'm very much looking forward to the Direct, because I've always been a big fan of the Smash series. Like, all of my favorite characters combining into one game has been a dream game since my childhood, basically. And, well, nowadays I don't get to play it as much anymore, but it's still one of my favorite series. And if half of the points that I made are coming true, I would consider my predictions to be a success. But if you disagree with any of the points that I made, or if you'd like to discuss anything further, feel free to leave a comment. But for now, let's wait until the Direct on August 8th, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.